What is going on, everybody? Today I'm bringing another demo of the dumbbell. So if you stuck around long enough and you watched my PCB video where I was discussing the differences between point-to-point wiring and printed circuit board style pedals, this is my first production printed circuit board or PCB style pedal. So real quick recap, why did I cross over to PCB? Rigidity. First and foremost, they're a lot easier to manufacture. They have a lot lower a possibility of error, both for the user and for me as the manufacturer and the designer to make them. Now, these are my circuit boards. I designed these myself, so it's not like I'm pulling them off of another website and then recanning them and then selling them to the general public and calling them my own. But they are PCBs. They are not point-to-point wired anymore. I am willing to still point-to-point wire you a dumbbell if you ask. Not a big deal. I might tack a little bit of an upcharge on that because it takes about a whole day's worth of manufacturing to make one point-to-point, whereas the PCB version, I could probably make about 5 in a day. So you get the point. But has the sound quality changed? Absolutely not. It's still a fantastic circuit. If you're not familiar with the D-style circuit, the dumbbell, it's an emulation of the Dumbbell amplifier. Great for cutting through the mix, tons of gain on tap. There's many different variations of this style circuit, but the Dumbbell from Gas Pedals was the one that really kind of struck a chord with me. I just love it. I absolutely love the way that it sounds. So I proto-boarded it out, I gave it a shot, and I said, yeah, absolutely, this is the one. This is the winner. Unfortunately, Gas Pedals doesn't exist anymore, and we know so very little about the person that was manufacturing these to begin with. I paid a little bit of tribute to it on the back plate of these pedals because I think that that is absolutely credit due for whoever came up with this design. And I made a few little tweaks just to change the way that the frequencies respond a little bit so you can get a little more oomph out of it, a little more bassy notes out of it. The original Gas Pedals dumbbell is kind of light on the low end, which I'm just a fan of. If I want it, I want it. And sometimes I want a lot of bass in my sound. Sometimes I don't. But it's still got that cutting mid that a D-style pedal is used to. So, without further ado, I'll run through a little bit of sound sampling. Today I'm using my Fender American Strat Pro. I'm plugged into my Victory V40 Duchess. Flipped into voicing 1 for a change, which is a little bit more of an American sound. As you can see from my other videos, I guess you can't see it in this one. For my modulation section, I use my Strymon Timeline and my Strymon Big Sky, and then I'm playing in a closed back cab through a pair of vintage 30s. And we're just at a gentle bedroom volume today, not a big deal, but here is my clean tone obligatory. Let's kick on the dumbbell. Controls at noon because you have to. Whole lot of fun to play with. Quite a bit of volume on tap, quite a surprising amount of gain, and the tone control, if you've ever read anything about the original Gas Pedals dumbbell, is pretty subtle. It's almost more like a small presence control, so it doesn't dial back and muffle like a wet blanket over your speaker like you're probably used to, but it does provide a little bit of tone shaping. So here it is with the gain at 75%. A little bit of breakup. Let's crank the gain all the way up. If you can hear the clicking in the background, I always tell people this, but that is a shoddy grounding system in my 1941 Cape Cod home. It has nothing to do with the pedal. So, for instance, let's switch to position 4 on the 5-way selector, hum canceling. It's gone. But let's go back to the neck because I love that neck pickup. Now you might be asking yourself at this point, where's the rest of the gain? It's over here. That's what kicks it into just absolutely boiling over Dumbbell sound. And we're going to dial back the gain control a little bit, and I'll let you hear the difference between the two. And there is a lot of gain on tap. Let's crank it. Oof, got to get in there and clean that strap pot. Let's pause it and I'll come back with something a little bit different. All right, we are back and I've got my G&L ASAP Blues Boy, which turned out to be one of my favorite guitars. Didn't take long for me to bond with it. If you haven't seen one before, they're a Telly-style guitar with a humbucker in the neck and your standard slant single coil in the bridge position. Notable to say that if you own one of these pedals, hang on, let me fix that video. Oh, has it been crooked the whole time? I'm sorry, guys. It doesn't matter. It's fine. You don't care. If you own one of these guitars, go ahead and pop the back plate open because you can coil tap that humbucker and it sounds super cool. So for instance, here is my humbucker in the neck position. And they're a little dark. Coil tap it. Pretty fun. But let's leave it in the middle position. We get some kind of telly sounds coming out of it. Here we go. We're going to start with the boost off. Kick that boost on. And then finally, I am back one more time, and this time I have my Yamaha Revstar, which is about the closest thing that I own to like a Gibson-style sound with covered humbuckers. So, here we go. Killer, absolutely killer pedal, a whole lot of fun. So if you're interested in buying one, I will have this one up on my Reverb page in about an hour. And when it sells, and they should be about 4 more of them on the way. So whole lot of fun to play with, definitely for the D-style circuit, mid-heavy lover. And if you've got a more Marshall-y kind of amp, this is just going to absolutely bark at you. But for today's demo, I did something I almost never do, and I put the Duchess in voice 1, which is more of a Fender-style, cleanish kind of sound, minding the fact that I do have EL34s in the amp, so it's still got a bit of a British touch, and it is a British amp. Voice 2 is going to be more of a Marshall-y sound, but at the interest of not making the video an entire 20 minutes long, where most folks are just tuning out going, nope, I don't want to pay attention to this anymore, we'll just stop where we're at. So that's it for tonight. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.